All right, so I think, yeah, we're briefly talking about Poloniex and the issues that they were possibly having. But it did allow me to log in. So I don't know if you guys are able to place trades. It might allow you to log in, but trades might not be executed properly. Let's take a look and see exactly what's going on with LTC and this cup and handle that is actually forming. And I did say that handle should come down to 25.50, and it's about 25.56 right now, 25.55. But this is a perfect formation of a cup. I don't think you can really get any better than this here, to be honest with you guys. But we'll see if this actual handle, will form, and then we'll get a nice pop to the upside, possibly 27.50, 28. 28 would be great. Or if it's going to do what it's done in the past, downtrend, form a cup and handle, downtrend again, form a cup and handle, downtrend again. Especially the past 4 days, that's all it's really doing. So we are on an upward momentum ever since it hit that $21 price point, or really it was $20 and change, I think. So here to see exactly what it hit, $20.31. So we have been on an upward trend ever since then. But it seems like the past couple of nights, an hour, it tends to take a huge dip. It took that dip to exactly $21 at, it looks like 11:45, 11:30ish, and it did the exact same thing um, at about 10:10, dipped to $20.31. So it definitely broke some resistance. I'm sorry, it broke some resistance, some support. But today it's been breaking every resistance that I put on my screen, and I was surprised that it was just breaking through and not, consolidating and kind of tracing backwards. A little bit of a retracement, but nothing major. But once it really broke out the major resistance at 23, um, but so, I mean, for it to get up to 26.50 from there, it's gain, pretty nice movement. So we're going to really pay attention to this, considering I still have a position to see if this handle is actually going to be a true handle before the upside. And the way I would really be able to tell is, here we go, it's a perfect example. Now, it could always be a fake out, but once a handle forms, it's going to consolidate for a very short period of time, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, and that's exactly what it's doing here. Let me put a circle around that. But that's basically indicating to me, that downward trend is ending and it's consolidating. It's not continuing on that downtrend. So sellers have basically stopped selling, or they ran out of stuff to sell. Buyers are actually supporting it to hopefully to the upside. Control box is in rage right now. Let me take a look at the control box. Yeah, I think the troll box on Poloniex, it's always crazy. I mean, the one time I was on there, I couldn't even keep up with what was going on. I was like, I got to close this out. This is too much for me to handle. I need like 4 eyes to be able to keep an eye on it. But yeah, people are gonna troll the troll box. Let me see if I can kind of briefly see exactly what some of the issues that people are having. But Poloniex, man, I don't trust them at all. I don't trust them to use, as the only source of an exchange. And that's why I have 5 different exchanges that I use. And I've used Poloniex in the past, but the shady stuff that they do, it's not really the worth the stress and the energy that I would put into it. And really having a good amount of money there, or a good amount of coins, if anything really happens bad, I mean, you're completely locked out. You can't do anything. You can't transfer those coins. You can't sell them. And I think Poloniex kind of thrives on that, to be honest with you. I think they intentionally cause these outages to happen so that they're able to capitalize off people's. Be surprised if this is really all Poloniex doing and not, being hacked or, server gone out. I think they're purposely flipping the switch. Yeah, Dylan, I'm glad we had a nice chat too. And ECS, thank you for notifying me of the issues that were going on with Poloniex. And that's kind of why I hopped on to do a live stream. I think anytime I kind of see notified that there are issues going on with an exchange, time permits, I will definitely be doing a live stream just give you guys a chance to vent and share your experience of what's going on with some of these exchanges. Yeah, Carl, somebody has said that on the live stream that I did yesterday. Kraken and Poloniex were being investigated for insider trading. And I mean, to be honest with you, every exchange will have insider trading. It's just not Kraken and Poloniex. I just think they're the ones that are really. But Coinbase does insider trading as well too. I'm sure does it. They all do it. They're all there to benefit. If they really wanted to move the price of a cryptocurrency, they will definitely move it. And I think, Dylan, I think, on that point, when you were trying to buy Litecoin at 21 bucks, they want to allow you to buy it at the market level. That's because I think Coinbase was just accumulating as many Litecoins as they could, so they could actually sell it on their website on Coinbase.com instead of GDAX. I mean, because really, if you go to Coinbase.com, you're purchasing them straight from Coinbase. You're not exchanging them between a buyer and a seller or two traders, basically exchanging coins. Yeah, ECS. I mean, I think they all claim that. But you're right. You're absolutely right. It can only go so far. There's only so many times that they could do that before really traders get fed up and say, you know what, the hell with Poloniex. I'm done with this exchange. Especially if something is running up and you're in profit and you want to get out, you want to lock in those profits, are they going to prevent you from locking in those profits? That's just it's shady. It's very shady. But I don't think Kraken and Poloniex are the only exchanges that are shady. I think they're all shady in their own sense. Let's take a look and see what our handle's doing. Definitely leveling out, which is good. What this really needs to do is get back up to that 2640 again and see if it's going to break out above it or if it's going to consolidate or form another cup and handle. But I've seen, majority of the time on an upward movement, they do tend to form a lot of cup. They'll form a handle, get up above the resistance, um, form another cup, form another handle, and a little bit of retracement. So you are going to have these cup handle retracements and then a nice move to the upside, another cup. Yeah, Bittrex. Oh man, that's another exchange that I use. I don't really use them too often. Um, but yeah, with high volume, I think they can definitely have issues. I mean, really, to be honest with you guys, I mean, the only two exchanges that I really trust, um, and I should say not really trust, somewhat trust, is really, GDAX and Gemini. I mean, those are really the only two that I would somewhat trust that I would think, okay, you know what? I think my money is safe there. I think they've invested a lot of money on their security where they're not going to have these crazy outages or denial of service attacks. But I definitely want to thank everybody that's joining this live stream. Thank you so much. It definitely means a lot to have you guys listen to me on this live stream. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button. Click on that notification so you're notified every time a video has been uploaded or I schedule a live stream. I will try to do these Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays going forward. But also at the bottom of this video, there are links to stay connected with us. You can stay connected with us to our website, sign up for our mailing list because we will be giving away service to our Slack chat room, as well as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Snapchat. Definitely feel free to stay connected with us. And to be honest with you, this community is growing. When I started this live stream, March 13th, I was only at 180 subscribers. So for it to really grow 535 within a matter of 2 months, that's incredible. To be honest with you guys, very thrilled. Sure, Bitcoin, welcome. It's definitely great to see new names on the live chat. I said before, if you're new, don't be shy, say what's up. But if you haven't done so already, Future Bitcoin, definitely click on that subscribe button, please. So is anybody having issues on Poloniex basically placing a trade? I didn't have any issues logging in. I thought it would actually give me an issue when I went to log in. I don't know if anybody's currently trading on Poloniex right now. And future Bitcoin, I'm glad to have you here, bud. Thank you for joining. Can't execute any sell orders. I wonder if they'll allow you to execute some buy orders. So by you not being able to execute any sell orders, I'm assuming Poloniex is trying to short a lot of these coins. They can short at the top without you selling to cause the price to go down, or a lot of people selling to cause the price to go down. They're able to short at the top, price starts to fall, or panic selling, and they're making tons of way down. Future Bitcoin, that's awesome. I'm glad you subscribed 2 weeks ago. Yeah, welcome to the live stream, bud. And if you haven't done so, definitely check out the website, CryptoTradersRoom.com. Sign up for our mailing list. Like I said, we will be giving away membership to our Slack chat. It's great to have some really engaged individuals in that chat room. Yeah, but I think, when these outages happen with Poloniex, I mean, of course they're behind it, but they're looking to capitalize off of the panic selling that might happen. And the only way for them to do that is if they start shorting at the top before people start selling to cause the price to drop. That's probably what they're looking to do, is just instill some sort of fear to anybody that's holding a cryptocurrency on their exchange. And if they cause that fear, it cause massive selling, panic selling, shorting at the top, they're able to capitalize on the fall down, as well as, I mean, they can see exactly where buyers are stacked up. They can buy at that their bottom price and then ride it back up to the top. So they're making money both ways. But let me know if you guys have any questions as well too. But what is moving today? What's got the most volume? Ripple. I think Ripple's consolidating at this moment, but who knows? If anybody on this live chat or live stream has got, invested in Ripple from back was basically a fraction of a penny, let me know. I don't think any traders are holding, to be honest with you, unless they're long-term investors, holding from a penny to 30 cents, 35 cents. This has got to be long-term investors. But I do feel that Ripple is going to take a huge dump. And the reason why I say that is, because I've traded the stock market before. And it's starting to get mainstream media's attention. So StockTwit is basically another type of Twitter chat room, that people kind of go. And somebody had posted something about Ripple, being up so much and how it's backed by banks, this and that. And a lot of people were basically saying, how can I short this? Where can I go to short this? Like they're all looking to short this thing that's up. I don't even know how many percentage, to be honest with you. 30,000%, something to that extent. So if regular stock traders from the financial market see this and they get in, they're looking to short Ripple. Now they could get burned, or they could end up making a lot of money where Ripple will actually take a nice dive. But I don't think Ripple is something I'm going to be trading, to be honest with you. I mean, the float is too high. 100 billion coins in existence. That's a lot. That's way too much. Even if they lock up 55 billion of those coins, there's still 55 billion still out there. In order for the stock price to really jump to 1,000, they need to reduce that float to at least 100 million, I would say. So they would lock up 99% there. Yeah, ECS, I agree, man. I agree with you. If regular market traders are to come in, they will end up getting burned. Things are basically at all-time high. Unless, it decides to take a dump and they're shorting. And I think a lot of traders right now in the stock market are looking at this and being like, wow, these ran up that high. There's no way it can sustain it. And if it doesn't sustain it, they're going to make money. But if it does sustain, the upward momentum and it still keeps going up, and let's just say hypothetically Ripple gets up to $1, and they're looking at this and being like, I'm going to short this thing at 37 cents because, send it right back to where it came from, under a penny. They might be getting burned, probably lose everything they have. ECS, do you think that lockup will make much of a difference on the price? I mean, you still have 55 billion coins that are available. That's still a lot. Duke, welcome, buddy. Hope all is well. Haven't done so already, please click on that like button. I think that, the more likes it has, the more, the chance that people will be able to find these videos. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. That's really the only way to be notified if I'm doing a live stream. But I will stay consistent to a schedule this week, doing on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So Duke, you sold your XRP, sold your Ripple. I remember, I think you got into Ripple pretty early. But yeah, for it to be 37 cents, I mean, even though 37 cents is cheap, and that's the way I think a lot of people are looking at this and being like, oh, it's only 37 cents, without them really understanding where it's been in the past and how much it's run up. Duke, you definitely know. I mean, you've seen the run up, but I think a lot of people coming on, they might just say, well, it's only 37 cents, 38 cents, let me buy this now. It's basically, fueling the fire to the upside. But then the crash is just going to be massive. A lot of them will get burned in the fire. I don't think they're playing with fire. They're basically drinking water out of a fire hydrant. All right, LTC still hanging around that handle formation of 25.58. Let's look at it on their charting system. Nothing wrong with this at all, as long as it doesn't keep downtrending like it did. I'll do it last night. Dropping from basically almost 25 down to 21. Yeah, I mean, right up here, from noon, about 10 hours, 11 hours, that's all it did is just downtrend. Nice little bumps here and there, basically little fake outs. I mean, if people were scalping, yeah, it's a great opportunity to scalp, but, if you're expecting something more, when it starts going up, then yeah, it definitely fooled a lot of people, I'm sure. But we're going to see exactly how this cup, well, the cup already formed, but how this handle is actually going to form. And I did say the 25.50 was really where that handle was going to form to. So we'll see if it sticks to it. And as long as buyers or sellers are not stacking up like they were earlier, I mean, earlier it was basically about 10,000 that were looking to be sold right at the exact price. But buyers bought it up and didn't really cause the price to dip. Let's see, a lot of buyers are stacking up, but they're down low, under 25 bucks. Sellers, let's see, 1,300, 1,200. Now, yesterday, I briefly talked about this. I don't know if everybody was on the live stream, but I mean, and I do the same thing too. I put an order in, take a look at the chart, and then I take it off and put another order in at a lower price. If I'm buying something, and that usually takes a couple seconds. I mean, you got to cancel it, then you got to put the order in, you got to hit submit. So those orders are not going to be taken off in a matter of milliseconds, and that's kind of what I'm seeing right now on the sell side as well as the buy side. 12 coins are being instantly taken off and added on at a different price point within a millisecond. Human beings are not that fast. So all algorithm trading bots that are trying to really manipulate the price into getting people to panic sell, because like the 1223, let's see where he's moving it to, or the bot's moving it to. I mean, they moved it all the way from 26 down to 25.65, and they're still moving it down and up, down and up. And if they move it down further enough and somebody sees that and they're like, well, I need to get out, before that 1200 executed, cause the price to come down a little bit, as they're probably sitting at the bottom waiting to buy. If you guys are looking at GDAX, you will see orders of over 1,000 just being added on, taken off, added on, taken off. I mean, it's too fast for humans to be doing that. That's all bots. Their game. Whereas, when I first started doing the live stream, that's kind of when they popped up, and that's kind of when we noticed the bots were there. Basically, fraction. They're 0.01, 0.03, 0.02, all the same orders. Now they've upped up the games, and they're 100, a couple thousand. Duke, your order was at 3 cents, or your entry was at 3 cents. Dude, that's huge. 1,000% profit at 30 cents. Can't beat that at all. Yeah, and it's good that you took the profit. You realize, you know what, it's getting way too expensive. I'm going to take the profit. Even though it's at 37 cents, 37 cents is really not that expensive. But in comparison to where it's been, and, I don't really follow the market cap. Somebody had mentioned the market cap on Ripple. Considering the float is so high, of course, the market cap's going to be high. And it could really be higher than Bitcoin. I mean, if it goes up to $1, it's $100 billion in market cap. So, it's fluctuated. Or inflated, as I should say. But our handle on Litecoin is holding up pretty well. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Ethereum had that nice dump to 82. I think it was 82 flat. $82.50 actually. At 11:30ish, dropped to that 82.50, but then made it right back up, to 89.98, almost $90. I mean, that's $7.40 per coin. It's huge. So anybody else on this live stream having issues with Poloniex or any of the other exchanges? So here's again that cup and handle on a 15-minute chart. And if you can find these cup and handles on a 15 or really 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, and it's trending to the upside, those are the best times to actually get in on the cup and handle. I wouldn't play the cup and handle formation on a downtrend. Those when it forms a handle and then it forms a nice little pop up, that's just kind of a fake out. But on an uptrend, the momentum is going to be better. It's going to carry it up a little. But also, share with me if you guys have any great success stories, some great trades that you got in and got out, make some great profit. You don't have to share your losses if you don't want to. You guys know my losses and my wins. I don't mind sharing them with you guys. And I'm assuming the audio is still good, considering nobody has said anything. But man, I am very surprised of how low Litecoin has gotten, and I hope nobody bought at the top. Expecting it to rip up, or even bought at $30, expecting it to go back up to 38. Considering for the past couple of days it's just been downtrending. Bruce, welcome, buddy. Thank you for informing me the audio is good. And Bruce, if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification bell. And sign up for our mailing list. There is a link to our website, and we will be giving away free chat membership to our Slack chat room. If you're interested in interacting with some great traders, please sign up. Yeah, I'm not sure how many we're going to give away. We're not going to give them away to everybody, but we'll select a few. So Dylan, yeah, you watched it last night. Did you put in like a low ball offer? And that's something I tell everybody. Before you go to bed, put in a low ball offer. You know, I mean, really, you have nothing to lose. It's either going to execute or it's not going to execute. And that's what I did with Ethereum. Ethereum was like 88, 89 bucks. I put a limit order to buy it. I think it was like 76. Let's take a look. Anytime I log on to GDAX, you guys have access to my fill orders. You're able to see, when I got into a trade, when I got out. Let's take a look and see exactly when I got into Ethereum. I put that low ball offer in and it ended up hitting 76.22, and it got down to 75.89, I think. But that 76.82, I didn't expect at all for it to get to that level because 89 bucks. But and this is the second time it's happened to me where I put in a low ball offer, and midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, when everybody's sleeping, that sell off, that domino effect sell off happens, and you have a good chance of getting that order executed. So always put in a low ball offer. That'll happen, especially Dylan. If it comes down really fast, it's going to go up faster, and that's kind of what I've seen. So when you have that panic selling that happens, and that's the best way to capitalize off these trades, is kind of wait for that panic selling to happen. Start scooping up as many coins as you can at the bottom. But yeah, if it comes down real fast, it's just going to go right back up as fast. So it's going to be hard for you to catch it. Now, if it gradually just descends and gets down low, it's just gradually grinding down, and they're basically walking it down is what they're doing. Then the uptick is going to be very slow as well too. But I think I'm going to have to really keep an eye out on some of these cryptocurrencies. It looks like at 11:30, midnight, 1 o'clock, somewhere to that extent, because I think that's a time that they're making some sort of move, either to the downside or upside. Yeah, Pivx, it's got to be due for a major upswing. When did I look at it? We'll look at it real quick. I'll look at it on Bittrex. Able to zoom in and out of the chart. But yeah, I mean that 50,000 Satoshi level, it's definitely maintaining it, which is good. See what it touched today. Did it touch 50,000 today? 52,001. But yeah, this has been downtrending for a while. Let's take a look at it on the 1-day chart. A lot of red, and these are 1-day candlestick price action movement just on a daily basis. I'm not going to sit there and count all the candlesticks, but it looks like really there's only 10 days. I mean, I'm not even going to include this high up here. So really 9 days worth of a green price action movement. And usually, the rule of thumb for me is, if I see anywhere from 8 to 10 days of straight red, it's time to pull back for the upswing. Now, how high is it going to get? Who knows? Basically it's based on resistance. But Pivx was really come down. I mean, I think it'll test that 10,000. She was a really come down. I mean, 42, 41. With the wick, it might even touch 40,000 satoshis. probably do like 40,001 Satoshis. But I could definitely see that happening. But I mean, especially on the 1 day chart, it did form the cup, just the handle so long. I mean, it broke below the low of the cup. I don't know what news is out there, ECS, that's causing this dip. I'm not sure. Does Pivx even offer master nodes? Because if they do offer master nodes, and people are really taking advantage of that, it should lock up a good amount of the coins. I'm not sure if they are offering it, or even if they are offering it, I'm not sure how many coins you need in order to become a master node. Yeah, ECS, it definitely keeps testing that 52. So that might be a good entry, but I don't know, man. I'm a little leery because really it tested 51.1 and then it bounced up to 81.6. I mean, that's not a bad profit at all. But yeah, I don't, unless Pivx really gets low, I don't think this is going to be a long-term hold for me. If I was to get in, it'd be kind of in and out type of trade. Now, if it bare bottoms and starts really consolidating, you know what? I might think about this for a long-term investment. Allah Hater, welcome. Let's see. Any thoughts on Dash? Seems to be stuck in limbo. Take a look at Dash. That's always good, ECS. I mean, as long as they have that huge community, they have a good development team. I mean, over time it will succeed. Short term, I don't know, but long term, yes. I think there's definitely a positive outlook for it, especially if they can compete with Dash. But let's go ahead and take a look at Dash. $6. But I'm going to take a look at it on a better charting system. Yeah, I think not Monero. Let's see, what's taking over right now? Yeah, Zcash is definitely taking over Monero, taking the spot from it. Cash at $86 in USD. Does anybody know any news that's out on Dash, whether good or bad? I don't think there's much good news, to be honest with you guys, considering it's been downtrending. But it did have a nice, crazy pop to the upside on a 30-minute chart. Let's take a look and see what this low was. But this is pretty nice. Looks like from 82.50 to possibly $95. Sellers definitely brought it up, but then I'm sorry, buyers really brought it up, and then sellers stepped in, and either they were shorting or they were selling to cause that price to really come down. But yeah, from 82.45 to $95 within a half an hour. That's huge. But we'll take a look at the 1 day candlestick for Dash and see exactly what it's been doing. Of course, it's been downtrending. I mean, it had a nice pop up to 100. And then I think ever since then it's been downtrending. Yeah, it looks like it might be finding its a very strong support level. So if we look at really between the 27th and 29th, right about here, I want to make sure you guys can see my cursor. Yes, okay, good. That's really where a good amount of the action happened. It was really a battle that was happening between buyers and sellers, trying to determine the direction that it's going to move to. Let me zoom in closer to it. So a good amount of consolidation between buyers and sellers fighting it out for direction. And that's really where it had come down to several times, not just once. Right up here too, a crazy battle brewed between buyers and sellers and possibly short sellers. Came down right to it, bounced right back up, and then it did the exact same thing again. Tried here to get down to it, but buyers brought it right back up, and currently right now, it did touch that level, it's 80 bucks. So that's to me that would indicate that there is a good support at that. The more time that it touches it and bounces off of it, the stronger that support is. Now, if it only did it once, I would say, okay, you know what? That might be kind of a soft support. I don't think it's a hard support unless it really consolidated for a good amount of time at that specific range, and that's kind of what happened. In this range here, where it consolidated buyers and sellers are basically battling it out, and it basically just kind of trended between $82, let's just say 83 bucks to 88 bucks and 50 cents, and that was the trend that it did for about 3.5. That's exactly what it did. So that's a good support level for it. Now, as long as the selling doesn't intensify, for it to hold. Now, if selling intensifies, then it's going to start breaking those barriers, and it's going to find a new bottom, and that new bottom could, who knows, but I don't think it'll get down to 60 bucks. But it'll test that 75 and see if it bounces off. And if it doesn't bounce off the 75 to the upside, then yes, you're possibly looking at 60. But that all depends on where the seller's supporting this and where the buyer's dumping. It's like, maybe the top 20 buyers and the top 20 sellers, we got 5,000 on the buy side, about 1,800 on the sell side. So the buyers are outweighing the sellers. But it doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't a seller sitting on the sideline waiting to hit that market sell order. So that's something you really got to pay attention to see on the actual order book side, executed trades to see what is being executed. Is it something that's sitting on the order book? Is it something that's not sitting on the order book at all? So you really got to look at both things and do a little comparison. Anybody sitting on the sideline with a lot of dash coins, they're looking to get rid of it because they just lost faith. And they hit that market sell, I mean, it could take out a good amount of this price action here, really get to that $70 level possibly. So Alba, hopefully that was able to answer your question for you. No news equals no movement. Yes, I agree. I mean, I would rather have bad news than no news because at least on the bad news, it's going to dip and then it's going to, have a nice little pop. And that's why I like these charts on Ethereum. And I also like the chart on Litecoin. I mean, there's just so many opportunities, so many up and down swings. And that as a trader, that's kind of what we look forward to. Now, as an investor, that's the last thing you want to see. So you're not even looking at these charts, to be honest with you. I wouldn't look at them. Drive me crazy. Looking at these crazy $8 swings, to the upside and downside. But as a trader, I mean, let's go ahead and zoom out of this. This is just a perfect chart. Got crazy downswings, a lot of panic selling that's happening. Got buyers that are supporting it. It's swinging up, swinging down, swinging up. This is what we need. This is what I like to see. I like to see this volatility, this up, down. I don't want to see anything that's kind of stagnant and just sitting there. Almost the same thing with Ethereum as well too. Swinging from $82 to 94, dipping back down. It looks like to 90, going back up to 92.50, dipping back down to 82.50, going back up to almost 90. I mean, if you're able to sit there and catch these panic sell and time, I mean, even if you got in at 85 bucks, let's just say, you made $4.50. So you don't necessarily have to catch the bare bottom. I mean, it's great to catch the bare bottom. Do that because like I said, the faster it falls, the faster it's going to go up. And we're looking at a 15-minute chart here. So from 89 bucks, it looks like 88.50 down to 82.50 in a matter of a half an hour, two candlesticks. It's right back up to where it dropped from. So unless you're at a computer sitting there and really analyzing the price chart and looking at the order books that are coming in and how things are being executed, you would end up missing this drop. You definitely miss this pop. And if you're chasing it, you would think, okay, you know what? These two candles have completely engulfed. Let's see what the time is for this. Hour, 2 hours, almost 3 hours worth of candlesticks. It completely engulfed them. Within a matter of half an hour, I would think, you know what? This is pretty bullish. Two candlesticks, engulf 3 hours worth of price movement. I'm going to get in at this price point. And if I would have got in at 88.25, I'm expecting it for it to really run up to 90. It wouldn't have done that, and it would have come right back down to where I would have possibly bought or even below it. So, you really got to catch these at the right time. And if you don't catch them at the right time, there's no sense of chasing them because, like I said, the faster they come down, the faster they go up, and then they could either consolidate or, they could just kind of dip down below or at least halfway they ran up from. See if I can get to some of these comments. I know I missed some of them. Yeah, Duke, that's pretty tough. Dude. I'm sorry to hear that. So yeah, last winter, I mean, it skyrocketed. So I did a dash video. Before I was doing live streams, I was just kind of doing a little bit of analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the cryptocurrencies that I was interested in. But I would also do just a brief video about some of the things that were happening. So I did a video on Monero, Dash, Jax, um, and the Monero. And when I actually did the Dash video, Dash was at like $15, when I made that video. And I think that video has probably the most hits because the gas started taking off and I saw it get up to 30 and I was like, okay, it's overpriced at 30. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to purchase it at 30. I'll wait for it to dip back down to the possibly 16, 17. It dipped down. It just kept running and running. And it ran up too high, too fast. And what do you know? I mean, it's going to come down. They're going to be profit takers. And think about it though. Somebody that's a master node, buying in, I don't know, needed at that point, maybe I think it was 1,000, coins to hold a master node. The purchase at 15, and it's going up to 90, it's going up to 100, it's going up to 110. You know, as a person that would possibly be holding a master node, I don't think I would hold it past 100. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to get out of being a master node. I'm going to sell, and then I'm going to wait for it to dip. I'm going to buy back the 1,000 or 10,000, whatever it is needed to be a master node, and I'm going to pocket the difference. And I'm sure a lot of them did the same exact thing. And Roger Ver pumping this thing because he's heavily invested in Dash. So I'm sure that run up had to do something with his pump, and if he starts selling, price action is going to come down. But at least you knew to cut your loss, even though it needed back up to 100. That's the safest thing to do because you don't know if it's going to make it back up. But, you bought at 90, 2 months later sold at 80. You've held it for 2 months. I'm expecting to go up, but yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. Never looking back again, huh? So would you look at it again if it came back down to 35 or 40? Yeah, not a problem. Allah or Ali, I think it is. I'm glad you found this stream helpful. It's not a problem at all. I enjoy doing these. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think Dash is having that up and down swing like Litecoin and Ethereum are having. And as a trader, that's kind of what you look forward to. So a lot of these coins, I would not hold long term. I am holding long term on Ethereum Classic because I don't believe the pump has really happened yet. Um, So I'm still holding stuff that I bought at $4.30, and I'm still holding stuff that I bought at $7. But I tend to not look at that price action like I do with Litecoin or Ethereum, because that is something I'm waiting for to at least a $10 pump. But with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin dropping, it's following the same path. So once some of these other cryptocurrencies, the most popular ones, start upticking and really start about, I'm thinking Ethereum Classic is going to do the exact same thing. But don't take a trade just based on me holding Classic. Please don't. because this is a risk that I'm willing to take, and you definitely got to weigh out your risk reward ratio. Yeah, if Dash would come down to that, like I said, 45, $50 level, I would be looking into getting in. That's a price point that I would personally get in. I don't know if I would hold long term or not, depending on the price action, price movement. Uh, but for it to get hit that 80 and get back up to 100, that's pretty impressive. So you would not get into Dash if it fell to 35 or 40. I guess fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Is that the philosophy you're going by? Duke, sometimes too, there's no problems at all with cutting your loss, and that's exactly what you did, and waiting for a better entry instead of holding it and holding it and holding it and having it drop to 70, 55, 60, whatever it might be, and still holding. You cut your loss at 80, so you took a $10 loss, but if it dips further, you might want to try to recuperate that loss by getting in at a low price, but don't go all in, don't go in heavy. Just take a little bit of a position. Still consolidating, unfortunately, and it did break below the 2550 that I talked about, but it's still maintaining above that 25, which is good. But the range today has been a lot bigger than the range yesterday. So we're looking at a range of about 2165 to 2650. Let's just say 2150 to 2650. I mean, that's a $5 trend. So we'll see if it'll actually trend all day within that $5 price point. It's going to hover right around the 25 and consolidate and hopefully up to that $28 price point. So any other issues going on with Poloniex or anybody else able to buy? Because I know ECS, you weren't able to buy, sell. But yeah, thank you guys for hitting that like button. I definitely appreciate it. It makes my day. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click on that subscribe button. Click on that post notification so you're notified every time a video has been uploaded or a video live stream has been scheduled. And also sign up for our mailing list on our website. It's cryptotradersroom.com. And we will be giving away some memberships to our Slack chat room. Duke, I'll definitely put you on that list. You definitely have a spot in our Slack chat room. But BTC looks like it's going to break out above 19 on Bitfinex. And if anybody caught that drop to 1610, I mean, that's impressive. And I was looking at purchasing about 7, but I was looking at purchasing them around the 1550 range. But even purchasing them at 1610 and then having to go up to 1810, I mean, that's, $200 per coin, 1400 bucks there. I was waiting for a better price, and that price never came. I guess you win some and you lose some. Sometimes you get a good entry, sometimes you don't. But I mean, it's a good philosophy to have. Allah, changing your mentality is good. I mean, the market changes, so you really have to be able to adapt with that market. If you're a long-term investor, it's good to at least manage those investments periodically. You're not going to be looking at them day to day, every single hour. least look at the trend and say, okay, you know what, this is trending to the upside, and it still will continue trending to the upside until the charts tell you something different, where the downtrend really starts, and then it might be time to lock in some of the profits. You always have to switch up, mentality. You always have to switch up your strategy with trading, because everything changes day to day. Don't be afraid to take profits. To be honest with you guys, I would rather take profits and leave money on the table to actually wish I was out of that trade. I hate to sit there and be like, I wish I was out of this trade. Why am I still in this trade? I would rather leave money on the table. I'd rather take a profit, leave money on the table. Nothing wrong with that at all. Greed is what's going to eat away at your profit, and definitely it'll eat away at the capital that you started out with. So, don't be greedy. Be happy with the profits. Like I said, it's okay to leave money on the table. Nothing wrong with that. You just don't want to wish that you were completely out of that trade because it's completely turned against you and went south. Future Bitcoin, I've never heard of those exchanges. I don't know if I would trust them. If anybody's heard of those exchanges, Coin One or Bit, please let me know. And if you're using them, let me know what the experience is. When I first started, it was basically Coinbase. They didn't really have any exchanges back in March of 2014 when I first bought Bitcoin. And then all these exchanges started popping up. But yeah, my first exchange, was basically GDAX. Then it was and then I started slowly but surely venturing out to Poloniex and Bittrex and Bitfinex. Somewhat trust Coinbase or GDAX and Gemini a lot better than some of these other exchanges. But yeah, future Bitcoin, I'll definitely have to do a little bit of research on Coin One or Corebit. But I think if I do decide to use them, and really it all depends on volatility. Is there volume? Is there volatility? It has to be there. And if it's not there, there's no sense in me, stashing away some Bitcoins there to be able to trade when there is no volatility that's happening. But if you used it and you have positive experience, please share with us. Some, I think the more exchanges you have, the better. Just in case some of these exchanges do go down, and it happens, you have a different platform to use to be able to trade. But is anybody else using any different exchanges that's giving them an issue today? But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate the thumbs up. That's 10 thumbs up as of right now. So I appreciate it. I don't think I have some of my regular people on here, do I? Let's see. Logan, Dylan is on. ECS is on. Duke, you're on. Duke, you've become a regular now. That's awesome. I appreciate it. And I appreciate anybody new that's finding this live stream and sitting there and listening to me talk. So that's awesome. All right, let's see if Litecoin is going to break below the 25 price point. We're a seller stacked up. So I think bots have stopped trying to control the price, which is good, because the order book is not fluctuating as much as it was in the past. The orders that are there are basically, they're staying there. They're not moving. Dave, welcome, buddy. Everything's great, man. Hope all is well with you. Danny Baker, the touchdown maker. Hope all is well in the UK. Yeah, man, you've been MIA. from our Slack chat. Yeah, you should have the invitation in your email. I think once we send an invitation out to you, we can't send another one. So you might have to check your. Duke, I've never heard of that exchange. Quadriga CX exchange, and they only have BTC Yeah, you know what? I mean, some of the popular exchanges, well, like I mean, Gemini only has BTC Ethereum. For the longest time, GDAX only had BTC Ethereum. I think some of these exchanges don't really want to turn into, Bittrex and Bitfinex, just throwing every coin that's out there so that they can actually manipulate it. So that's why I kind of trust Gemini and I trust Coinbase to an extent. Not fully 100%. I just trust them to an extent versus all the other ones. Oh yeah, that's right, Duke. I forgot you're in Canada. Canadian, eh? I'm trying to understand what that said. In Thailand. You're in Thailand right now. Dude, that's awesome. No, who was in Thailand? Jeff was in Thailand not long ago. But yeah, yeah, you're watching me live stream from Thailand. That is sweet. I always try to ask us where everybody's from, and I've kind of stopped doing that. So if you guys don't mind telling, let me know what country you're in, because at one point, I mean, we had people from all over the world. Dave, yes, I do have two open orders. One is ETC, which I'm sure you know about that one. I've had that for a while, and that's going to be I'm waiting for the pump. I'm waiting for the big pump to happen, so I don't really look at that price action. But I did take a position yesterday at 20. I think it was yesterday, 24.58 on Bitcoin. And yes, profit was 26.50. But when I saw the cup and I knew that it was forming a handle, which it is now, but I didn't expect the handle to come down to 25.06. That we would have a nice uptick. But I should have taken some profits at that resistance of 26.50. But yeah, those are the two open orders that I had. But yeah, before I took that 24.58 entry, I was only looking just to scalp it before I went to bed. But I had told Logan's Run, I don't think he's on right now, but I had told him that I was really looking for that 21.50 price point. I'm like, that's really what I'm looking for. But I was like, I'm going to get in just for a little bit to scalp it. And of course, I wasn't able to scalp it to the upside. So I held on to it. No, that 21 hit. So my 21.50 would have been executed, and that would have been a nice little profit there. For a month, dude, Danny, that's awesome. That's a good vacation to take. Thailand. Don't get into any trouble. That's why you've been MIA from the chat. Future Bitcoin, you're from Holland. Sweet. I think you're the first one from Holland. Yeah, ETC, let me take a look at it real briefly. I think that 550 might be a good buy on ETC. Yeah, even though volume is high, and that's basically based on Bitfinex, it's higher than all the other cryptocurrencies that they have on there. It's not as high as it once was in the past. I mean, it would reach, 900,000 million in volume. Volume has been pretty stagnant, and I think it's drying up a little bit. But if I didn't have an entry and I was looking for an entry, I would really look for that 550. As long as my chart pops up, we'd be able to take a look at it briefly. But I got about 15 minutes on this live stream, guys. Or actually 16 minutes, so I'm going to end this at 12. But if you have any questions, please let me know. If you haven't clicked that like button, or click that subscribe button, please do so. It does motivate me to do more of these videos. Sign up for our mailing list, because like I said, we are giving away some free membership to our chat. Yeah, 550, Danny would be good entry to get in. But yeah, but when it started really moving from that 607 to, I think it was like 695, I mean, it was just a crazy follow. Because some exchanges were going to start supporting it, I think in Korea, South Korea. But yeah, after that, it really didn't break out. You know, especially when it came down and then formed a nice cup, thinking, okay, you know what? It's forming a cup. It's forming a handle. We should get a nice move to at least 750, 775. But what do you know? A complete fake out. So, you know, really don't trust these cup and handles every single time. So you can't sit there and play these cup and handle formations every time, because it's not always going to be true. You know, if you play a cup and handle formation and the handle's forming, you know, look for it to kind of level out or start to curve. Once really the candlestick starts to curve, then you might be looking at an entry. And I wouldn't get in then. I would be looking at, you know, the order book on the buy and the sell side and the trade executed to determine, okay, you know what, is this going to just consolidate for a couple of seconds and then dip back down, or is this a good consolidation because buyers are stacking up more than sellers? So right now, you know, we got 29,000 on the sell side versus 9,800 on the buy side. So it could have a dip. Yeah, but if you look at a chart and you see it that, you know what, it's made a nice high, it came down drastically, but then it just starts to kind of curve, almost like a semicircle, that might be the time to get in. Yeah, don't try to get in on these dips here because it's just constantly dipping. I mean, these are 15-minute candlesticks. We have almost 3 hours just continuous selling. Let's see, Dave is saying, still holding a bunch of LTC from around 33 price point. Ooh, that's high, bud. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even think about it. I mean, if you're holding from 33 bucks, looking, you know, to make your money back, I wouldn't the Litecoin chart, to be honest with you, it would drive me crazy. But it could. I mean, it needs to break out above 28. That's really what it needs to do. And if it breaks out above 28 with a vengeance, you know, that there is a possibility it could do something. But that's as long as short sellers are not there to kind of bring it back down. Oh man, Ripple. Everybody's asking about Ripple. Um, the float is high. It's 100 billion float. It's a high float, you know, for really anything. But even them locking 55,000, I think it's just a way to get the price to jump up to bring in more investors. And even if they're locking up 55 billion, and I said this earlier, there's still another 45 billion that's out there. That's still high. And yeah, even though Ripple's 38 cents now, I think, something to that extent. Even though it's 37 and a half cents, um, and a lot of people might look at it and be like, "Oh, that's pretty cheap. It's only 37 cents." But you got to look at to see where it came from. You know, it was like what, 1/100th or 1/1000th of a penny. So people are playing the hype. So we'll actually see if they actually lock up those 55 billion coins. But if they don't lock up those 55 billion coins, then I mean, expect a huge dump. I mean, this thing could easily dump 50%. You know, so where would that put it? 18 cents, 16 cents. So yeah, Ripple is not a play for me, to be honest with you guys. I would not buy Ripple. So think about it this way, though. All right, so let's kind of get back to Ripple, and I'll tell you my little thinking behind it. So if Ripple was so great, and you know there was so much speculation that it was going to be, you know, the next thing that all banks were going to start incorporating it into their banking system, wouldn't you think right now at this moment that the price would be at $1, $2, or possibly $3 because the banks are buying up every coin that they can possibly buy up? So if that was the case and banks were going to really start incorporating this, the price should be a lot higher. It shouldn't be stuck at 37 cents, even though it's up huge, fraction of a penny to 37 cents. I mean, that's huge. But it should be a lot higher if banks were going to really start incorporating the technology to the banking system. So prices, under 50 cents, under $1, that would indicate to me that banks are not really interested in this. Some banks might to test it out and see how it goes, but really until every bank starts adopting it and see the benefits of it and start really buying up Ripple, I don't see this thing moving. But yeah, that's kind of my thought prediction behind it. If you guys disagree, not an issue at all. I mean, let me know, please. We could agree to disagree. See, Duke is saying he's trying to open South Korean exchange, but BTC price is really high. My brother has some coins with them. Yeah, some of these exchanges, yeah, the BTC price is going to be high. I saw this might have been BTCE, where the price of Bitcoin was low. That's because nobody was really using that exchange because it's so hard to get your money out of that exchange. So I mean, yeah, you can buy it really cheap, but are you going to be able to get your money out? Yeah, somebody was saying, I forget who it was. It was, the Koreans were really buying up XRP, and they don't really know why they were buying it. But yeah, if people are just buying something because it's so cheap and they don't know why they're buying it, yeah, I mean, it's going to cause the price to go up. And that's exactly what it did. Yeah, it could easily go down to 20 cents. A lot of selling happened. And, when I first really started watching cryptocurrency, I've looked at Ripple. It's cheap. And, I followed some of the news that was happening with the Bank of UAE, United Arab Emirates, and they were starting to incorporate Ripple to their banking system. Once I saw that news hit, I looked at Ripple for probably an hour looking at the price action. It didn't make one dent. It didn't move up. It didn't move down. It did nothing. I was like, oh, this is good news for Ripple. An actual huge bank, and UAE is probably one of the richest countries in the world. For them, to incorporate Ripple into their banking system and not have it go up, I'm like, there's something wrong. There was definitely something wrong. But of course, later on, it started ripping up to the upside. But when that news broke out, it didn't make a dent. But yeah, I always say cryptocurrency is going to do what a cryptocurrency wants to do. It's either going to go up, it's going to go down, or it's going to trade sideways. And those are really the only three things that they're going to do. And that's all based on supply and demand. So the supply is pretty high, to be honest with you guys, on Ripple, even at 45 billion. That's high. Um, but the demand has to be there um, for it to kind of have that really upward movement. Uh, have that much demand, it's going to tank, unfortunately. But I think Monero is probably the next thing that I'm going to be looking at. We'll see exactly how far this comes down. But yeah, I mean, I remember Monero at 13 bucks, 18 bucks, went up to 20, came down to 17 or 18. So for it to finally hit 30, that was pretty impressive. Yeah, Dave, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, for short term, it's great. Especially if you're able to take advantage of these up and down swings. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But you're right. I don't think Ripple is basically decentralized, and that is really the main focus of cryptocurrency is for them to be decentralized. But Ripple is not going to be decentralized at all, especially if they're getting involved with banks. I mean, same thing with Ethereum. In the long run, Ethereum is not going to be decentralized. Banks and a bunch of other institutions are incorporating Ethereum into their system. So I think that'll take the decentralized out of Ethereum as well too. Yeah, and I mean, Dave, you hit a good point. Basically, you're saying that Ripple fundamentals are almost the opposite, which makes it questionable long term for me. And I don't think it's just Ripple, to be honest with you. I think it's really any of the cryptocurrencies aside from Bitcoin. Um, I think they're all questionable for long term, to be honest with you. When it started really making all-time highs and really getting up there, I think what, $1.50, almost $2. Um, Questionable for it to come down to 50,000 satoshis from, I think, 175 or 180,000 satoshis. So yeah, never fall in love with these cryptocurrencies. Don't marry them. They're not going to love you back. I think any of the cryptocurrencies out there are questionable. There's so much shady stuff that goes behind those doors that we're not aware of. And if you read the white paper, you're going to be like, oh man, this is a great cryptocurrency. There's so much potential. There's not going to be, and I've said it before in some of the videos. I forget what video, but there's not going to be anything bad written on the white paper. It's not going to be positive news. So you really can't read that. I mean, it's very biased. So if you're just reading that and forming a judgment based on that, um, yeah, the price could go up, but it could also crash on you if you're looking at it as a long-term outlook. I mean, I only use these cryptocurrencies as a trading vehicle. I mean, that's basically it. Duke, you're waiting for it to drop back down to 0.0011. Um, I'm trying to do the math in my head, but let's see, it's at 0.0019. Let's take a look at the chart real quick and kind of look at Ripple. I know I've done it before. Somebody asked me about it, but we'll take a look at the support and resistance. Maybe I'll look at it on Bittrex. Might be a little better. I think when that crash happens, it's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. Duke. Good point, Dave. You're absolutely right about it. Possibly hitting $1. Considering it's cheap, and that's what I think a lot of traders are looking at. They're like, well, this is cheap. This is nothing. Like I can put $100 in and get tons of these coins. And the more people that are doing that, and the more people that have that same mentality, and they're just buying into this something that's cheap, yes, it is going to cause the price to just keep going up and going up until the people that were early investors at thousands of a penny, then they're like, all right, it's time for us to walk this thing down or completely tank it. Let's get out. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Is big time holders, when they start dumping, it's going to really come cracking. Let's get out of this 30-minute chart. Let's look at a one-day chart. Yeah, on the one-day chart, I mean, it had a nice pump. It looks like somewhat of a consolidation, and then another pump. But it did definitely pump back here April 1st, and then just continuously consolidated. And I forget what I was trying to get into Ripple. It was dirt cheap. I think it was at like 2,200, and I was trying to get the 1,800 support, and it never made it to 1,800, of course. At the 30-minute chart, zoom out. This has been this is not a bad looking chart at all. But you got to expect a pullback. Things can't just keep going up and up and up without a very major correction. Yeah, it's going to have these little corrections here and there. I would say probably this is a major correction here from 24,200 down to 18,840. That's a nice little correction. That didn't happen right away. Gradually got to that point. But, I mean, if this thing really starts downtrending like PIVX, and I mean, it could easily do that. I would be looking at, let's take a look at a couple different resistance points. At 11,800 possibly. But I think, it might get to that 15,000 before upticking just a little bit, if it is going to be downtrending, and that's kind of hard to tell at this moment. But if it does get to that 15,000, I can see maybe up to 17,000. But if it breaks at 15,000, And I'm basing that on the previous high that it had actually set before really taking off, and that was on May 8th, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. If it does retrace, it might retrace to that top there that became a resistance, and then it basically made a new support line. So once it broke out above that high of May 8th, it basically, resistance turned into support, and it could touch that support, then go back up. But if it does, definitely decides to break that level, then the other level of really good amount of consolidation you're looking at, it's going to be right around the possibly 10,000 range. If it break 10,000, but if it does break 10,000, then after that you're looking at somewhere in the 6,400, possibly. That's if there's just a lot of selling pressure that is going to cause a downward trend, and that downward trend will continue like PIVX. But right now, I mean, considering how cheap it is, 36 cents, you know, new traders coming into the market might just say, wow, this is cheap, it's 36 cents. Let me buy some right now. And the more people that do that, the higher the prices go. But yeah, Duke, I like your philosophy, and then your philosophy is the same thing as mine, especially with trades. Let it come to you. Don't go chasing it. When it comes to you, you're able to get a better entry. Dave, no problem, buddy. I'm glad you appreciate the Ripple. And yeah, I mean, if there's any cryptocurrencies you guys want me to take a look at possible, support and resistance, I'd be happy to do that. That's not an issue at all for me. You want to know what percent you usually set stop losses? I don't look at percentage in the sense of stop losses. I'll look at, okay, this is the resistance and this is the support. If I get in at this price point here, the resistance or a little before the resistance is going to be my profit, and a little before the support is going to be my loss. That's kind of the way I'd look at it. So I kind of plot out the support and resistance, and based on where the price is between the support and resistance is going to determine uh, my risk reward ratio. And for me to really figure that out, like I really have to analyze not just a 30-minute chart. I mean, definitely want to take a look at the 30-minute chart, but I'll look at the 1 minute, 5-minute chart. So let's just say hypothetically, which I'm not taking a position in this, guys, but let's just say hypothetically I wasn't taking a position in this. Really, we have support, and this is actually probably a good support because 3 times it bounced off of that support line. And that support line would be somewhere in the range of 16,600, let's just say. So 16,600, but if I was in this position right now, I would be probably looking to cut my loss before it hits that resistance, just in case it hits that. I'm sorry, before it hits that support. Because it could hit that support and completely turn sideways down. So let's just say hypothetically, I was in this trade, I would probably be looking at cutting my loss at 17.5, and that's if I got in at 19.5. So if I got in at 19.5, 17.5, I would be looking at cutting my loss, and I would be looking to take profit right at about 23,000 satoshis. 23,000 satoshis is where just about 3 times it attempted to break out above the 23, and it couldn't do it. It broke out once above it, only once, but it came right back down. So I'm trying to see if you guys can actually see my chart. So here would be the first resistance of 23. Got above it a little bit, but came right back down. Retraced a little bit. It attempted to, didn't get close to that 23. It retraced right back down to 20,200. It attempted again the third time, and it just got to about 23, and then collapsing down to 16,600, let's just say. So when I'm basically looking at risk reward, I look at the support, I look at the resistance, I look at the current price, and I say, okay, you know what? If I get in at the specific price right now, what's my reward and what is my risk? So my reward is going to be a lot better as that price gets closer to that resistance. I'm sorry, closer to the support. So as it gets closer to the support, then I know that my reward is going to be a lot higher than than what I'm risking. So that's kind of what how you really well, that's how I plot it out. But like I said, every trade is different. Some trader might say, you know what, I'm willing to lose 500 bucks on this trade to make 1,000. So their loss 500, gain would be 1,000 possibly. So everybody looks at it a little differently. Somebody will look at it in the sense of dollar or percentage. Um, but I think if you stick to something that's very consistent for you and you say, you know what, I'm willing to risk 5% to make 15%, based on what the chart is telling you, if that is what it's telling you, that you can actually make that 15%, and your loss will be minimized at 5%. That's not a bad way to look at it. Could I adjust my camera? I'm not using a camera. I'm using it's basically screen share. So I'm sharing my screen with you guys. So one thing you could do, who was asking me about that? Duke, is change the resolution. And that's happened to me before where my computer will automatically put it at the lowest resolution. So if you kind of hover over the video, there's a little wheel icon. On that wheel icon, it's probably set to resolution. So set it to the highest resolution you can. Mine is 720. So previously it was at 240. Now I just changed it to 720, and it's a little more clearer. See if that makes a difference. Dave, not a problem. And if you need me to explain that to you again, please let me know, and I'll explain that to you again. I mean, if there's anything that I say that you guys don't understand, I mean, definitely please ask me to clarify, and I'll do my best to clarify that, differently than the way I clarified it. Because sometimes I might be just talking and pretend like I'm basically talking to another trader that knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I know a lot of you guys that are joining are just kind of starting out to trading, and you might not understand some of the verbiage that I might use. And if you don't understand it, please let me know. Because if you don't understand it, there's going to be a lot of other people that don't understand it as well too. Let's take a look at Ripple, reverse head and shoulder. So Duke, that worked for you? Out of here at reverse head and shoulder. Definitely between, I would say, let's see, what's the date on this? And really, it all depends what exchange you're looking at too, Dave, because every exchange, yeah, you're gonna have the price going up and going down, but they might have different formations of candlesticks. Volume is going to be different. So on Bittrex, yes, it was an inverse head and shoulder. Looks like 16th at 6, possibly I think 6 a.m. to about 16, 1800 hours. So that would be about 5 p.m., 6 p.m. So between, for about 12 hours, it did form that inverse head and shoulders. So basically we have the head here. I wish I could enlarge this chart, but I don't think I can. We do have the head here, and that head was formed right around, let's see what the price point was. Try to zoom into this head and shoulder here. And this is basically a perfect example of an inverted head and shoulder. See if I can get this a little better. So you have the head here where it basically touched down at, looks like 16,500, let's just say, a little over that. And then you have the left shoulder that touched 17.5, and then another shoulder that touched just about 17. So you got the two shoulders, you got the head, and that's an inverse head and shoulder, which then caused the upside tick. And of course, I had a nice collapse from there, considering it ran up so high. Let me take a look and see closer to the chart if we do see some sort of inverted head and shoulder. Possibly here. I mean, it all depends, to be honest with you, Dave. So we definitely have the head, we have the shoulder. I have to see exactly where this would form current candlestick. I don't know if I would call this part here as a second shoulder. We definitely have the first shoulder, nice gap, spread apart. but this is more of the consolidation that happened right in this range here. And it really didn't form a shoulder. In order for this to form a shoulder, it would have had to come up a little bit more and then dip back down to around that 17,000 or 18,000 range, and then kind of go back up. But so this is more of the consolidation that's happening. So, but it could form the other shoulder from the current candlestick that it's in. So I mean, it could touch that, 18,500, and then kind of go right back up, and then that would be the shoulder there. Now remember too that head and shoulder, it's not always going to be accurate. So don't play them thinking it's 100%. There's nothing 100%. That's foolproof on making money in cryptocurrency or the stock market. Just to let you know. Let's see, where would I enter if I was to see this? I would probably try to enter where the shoulder would actually form. That would be the 18,600 possibly. But then you got to be careful that it doesn't dip from you from that point on. So you can't just look at it forming this second shoulder and say, okay, I'm going to get in. You want to look at and see, okay, you know what? Where are the buyers stacked up? Where are the sellers stacked up? How are these orders being executed? And if there are tons of sellers that are stacked up, by on the ask side, then it's not even worth it to get in, to be honest with you, because sellers will bring that back down. A lot of buyers stacked up at that price point. It's a great support for that head and shoulder upward momentum or inverse head and shoulder upward momentum. Yes, ECS. Thank you for typing that out. But yeah, any of you guys that are interested in joining our chat room, like ECS said, definitely sign up for our mailing list, cryptotradersroom.com, and you should be good. Let's see. I think I'm missing some of these comments here. I do apologize. Duke, you're awesome. I don't have an XRP address yet, but I will create that, and then I'll send that address to you. Maybe I'll do that today after I get off this live stream, and then the live stream, I'll send that address to you. But yeah, dude, Duke, you're awesome, man. You donated one Litecoin. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And you're looking to make another donation of 100 ripples. That's awesome, dude. I always say, anybody that gives, good things happen to them. And there was a guy that actually a while back he donated Zcash. He gave me like, I don't know, 15 bucks worth of Zcash, and then Zcash just exploded where he actually even ended up making tons of money. And he was like, give a little, make a lot more. And I was like, that's a good philosophy to follow. I'm like, that's not bad. Yeah, Duke, I don't know if you heard me. I don't have an XRP address. You know what? I do. I do. Let me see. Because I can just use my Ripple address that I have on Bittrex. So I just got to log in here real quick. And if you guys aren't using two-factor authentication, I highly recommend it. You definitely want to protect yourself. You know, the only thing that kind of sucks about Bittrex is they'll charge a fee to receive Ripple, or really any cryptocurrency. Let's see if it'll allow me to generate an address. All right, Duke, you should be receiving that any second. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. I did say I was going to end this at 12. It's about 12:15 now, but I'd be happy to answer some last-minute questions if you guys have any. I know a couple days ago when I was doing a live stream, somebody was on the stream the whole time, and they decided to ask a question once I hit end live stream. Rock, welcome. Good question. It's a possibility. You never know what's going to happen with these exchanges. You know, as some exchanges fail, new ones will come on, and they'll do well, and then they might fail. You know, I don't know off the top of my head. You guys probably will know how many exchanges have already failed. But you know, I mean, Poloniex is getting pretty big, and they're having tons of crazy issues, and they shouldn't be having these issues. Um, so, I mean, could it be the next Mt. Gox? Who knows? It could. There's a possibility. Really, anything's possible in the cryptocurrency world. It's a wild, wild west, and possibilities are endless. To be honest with you, you know, how many people have had their coins stolen, you know, from different exchanges? I mean, even Bitfinex. I mean, I use Bitfinex. You know, I mean, coins have been stolen from them. You know, I think if that was to happen to Bitfinex again, I don't know if they'd be able to survive. What do you guys think? But thank you to everybody that's hit that like button. Thank you to everybody that's clicked on that subscribe button. I just got a couple emails indicating that people have been subscribing, so that is awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Like I said, it definitely motivates me to do more of these videos. The subscriber count kind of grow. It definitely helps out, so I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, you know, watching this live stream and hearing me talk. And I wish we could actually have a conversation, a verbal conversation amongst each other, instead of you guys just typing it out in the chat and me talking. But any other questions before I end this live stream? And let's take a look real quick what my LTC is doing. It looks like it formed a very longer handle than I had expected. Yeah, I did not expect that handle to come down that far. But let's see what it's going to do. You know, I expected 25.50. You know, that's where I kind of expected that handle to come down to. It did before it really started kind of moving somewhat sideways on the 5-minute candlestick. Let's take a look at it a little more granular. I mean, it's a perfect cup. Perfect cup. I don't know if it's a perfect handle, though. See what this upward momentum has. Uh, but if it gets up to, let's just say, hypothetically, this is all just hypothetical. Let's see what this price point was. 26.35. 26.35. Say it gets up to 26.35 and kind of consolidates and bounces down a little bit. That's going to be a head and shoulder. You know, you got the head at 26.50. You got the left shoulder at 26, you know, 26.35. If this gets up to 26.5 and doesn't break out above it, that is going to be a head and shoulder and that's going to take you out. It's going to get up any higher. It's going to pull back, and it could have a nice pullback down to 24.50 possibly. So we'll have to see, how these candlesticks are forming, and if it breaks out with a vengeance above that 26.35, then we're good. We're in the clear. But if it doesn't, I mean, that's just, you can't really get any perfect, head and shoulder, cup and handle. I mean, it has cup and handle. It's got the head and shoulder. It's a 2-in-1 type of pattern. Dave, I should start a Discord channel. We actually have a Slack channel, and I don't know if you read ECS's message. So probably a couple messages up from where yours is now. But we do have a Slack chat. Um, Definitely sign up for it. Our website, CryptoTradersRoom.com. Sign up for our mailing list, and we'll be sending out some information on how to join our Slack chat. And it's going to be, we're offering this free membership to our Slack chat. Later on, we're going to end up charging for it, but in the meantime, it is going to be free. And we're going to select a handful of people. So, I highly recommend joining that. But I need to do a little more research on Discord and see, what features they have to offer. It's just Slack. Maybe ECS. I don't know. You know about Discord, so if there's anything beneficial on about Discord, let me know. Yeah, Danny, I don't think there is an XRP wallet. Maybe you guys would know. Maybe Jeff would know, or ECS would know. Um, I just I gave Duke my exchange XRP wallet address is what I did. But once I actually figure out a XRP actual wallet, I'm gonna go ahead and move that from the exchange to the wallet. Yeah, Dave, that's kind of what we do on our Slack chat. It's basically a community that we've created, and it's very interactive. We got some great guys on there, sharing their analytical, sharing their trades, sharing charts, patterns, what they see. I'm going to start being very active on that Slack chat. I haven't been too active on it. I've been busy with 3 kids, and my wife and I are searching to buy a house, so that's been eating up a lot of my time. But once that kind of goes away, I'll be spending a lot of time on that Slack chat. But I got to do a side-by-side comparison on Discord and Slack, and which one's better. I do like Slack at the moment. Features of Discord. All right, we'll take a look at Ripple real quick before I end this live stream. And I wish Bittrex would actually load properly, but it's very slow. I mean, volume is huge. I think it's a leader in Bittrex. It might be a leader on Poloniex as well too. But 16,462 BTC volume, that's huge. $29,813 in volume. So there's definitely a lot of money that's being pumped into this very cheap coin. Cheap as in the sense of the current price that it's at, not cheap from where it came from. It's definitely expensive at this moment. Yeah, I mean, this thing could run a little more, but it's a risk you're taking, to be honest with you. I don't trust it. The thing is though, with these things that just kind of run up and keep running, they don't maintain that momentum for too long. I mean, eventually the rug gets pulled and it comes down. But I don't know, we'll see. I did ask you guys in a couple of live streams if there's anything you want me to trade, leave it in the comment section at the end of this video when the video ends, because right now you can't really leave a comment. But once the video gets uploaded to YouTube, you can comment on the bottom of the video in regards to what cryptocurrency or altcoins you guys want me to start trading. And it's got to be something that has volatility, something that has movement. And let's just say hypothetically you comment on there that you would like me to trade Ripple. As long as your comment has the most likes, I will trade Ripple that day. I'll take a look at, well, we'll look at it in the sense of trying to find a good entry and trying to find an exit. Now, if the opportunity is not there, I'm not going to risk my money getting into a trade that's not going to be profitable for me. But if the opportunity is there for me to find a good entry and that entry happens, I'll be happy to trade Ripple or really trade anything. So definitely leave me a comment at the end of this video and let me know, what cryptocurrency you want me to start trading, especially if it's something that's offered on the exchanges that I use, like Bittrex, Poloniex, as long as Poloniex is up and running and there aren't any denial of service attacks, or Gemini, or Coinbase, or I will be happy to trade any of those coins that are on there based on what coins you guys want me to sit there and kind of analyze and try to find an entry. Now, if you give me a coin that has no movement at all, more than likely I'm going to look at it and say, all right, you know what? Let me go to the next one because there's no movement on this at all. But Ripple has up and down swings, which is kind of what we look forward to in a volatile market. If you guys want me to start trading Ripple, and that's one of the recommendations that has the most likes, then the next video I do, we'll try to find an entry on Ripple and also try to find an exit. So it'll be kind of a quick in and out, maybe a scalp, depending on the momentum and what type of what is it telling me. Is it downtrending or is it uptrending? Yeah, Dave, definitely do it, man. Go to tradersroom.com and sign up for the mailing list, and then we'll be sending out information hopefully soon about joining the Slack. But like I said, I'll definitely have to take a look at Discord and see, what features they offer in comparison to Slack. But I definitely want to thank you guys for joining. I want to thank you guys for hitting that like button. Thank you guys for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it motivates me to do more of these videos and do more of the live streams. But I will be back on a very consistent schedule starting next week. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I will be doing. So click on that post notification bell so that you're notified when I actually schedule a video. But I will schedule the live streams in advance so that you have time to prepare to be on these live streams. But like I said, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Happy trading. I always say, protect the risks. If you have them, take them. Wait for dip for reentry. But thank you guys for joining. I'm ending this live stream as of right now.